I told you I love that. Yeah. Who am I, man?
What's up, everybody? I'm Fox of FOXY Games UK, your regular aggregate source of the latest game news, rumour and video game discussion. Some views expressed in our videos are those of third parties and do not necessarily represent the views of FOXY Games UK. Follow me via Twitter at FOXYGames_UK, or relevant links can be found in this video's description. It is Friday, the start of the weekend. Let's waste no time in our first news segment. As most of you know, I pre-ordered the standard edition Xbox One X, and my One S is already sold. I'm very curious and kind of excited to see what development studios can do with all that extra power, but I personally don't care if it does not outsell the PS4 Pro. I do not care if the One X does not win MPDs this holiday, and I do not care who comes out on top. All I care about is the hardware is reliable, and the hardware provides me with the type of experiences that I like, and that's all I personally care about. But I also appreciate not everyone thinks the same, and some are far more invested in this thing than others. With that, Head of Gaming and Vice President of Xbox, Phil Spencer, recently commented he wasn't expecting to see great sales of Xbox One X. In fact, Spencer all but said he expected underwhelming sales, and that he was okay with that. Here's the full story. So, Microsoft, Sony and Nintendo are gearing up for the most important and lucrative part of the year. Microsoft in particular is preparing release of their new console, the Xbox One X, for November 7. But Xbox boss Phil Spencer has recently intimated he is already expecting below average to poor sales figures, as he views and positions the Xbox One X as aimed at those who want the very best experience with a home system. Isn't something that will suit everyone. Here's a quote. Whether you're on a 1080p TV or 4K TV, you're going to have a great experience, but it's not for everybody. It's like when we built the Xbox One Elite controller. We didn't try to say to everybody, hey, if you need an extra controller, go buy the Elite controller. We sold a ton of those controllers. We know in the gaming segment there are a lot of people who play games casually, and there's also people where gaming is their #1 hobby. Their #1 form of entertainment, and we want to give them the very best experience. I've played games in true 4K with high dynamic range and they look fantastic, but it doesn't mean everybody has to do that. So we're giving gamers a choice. Whether we've pushed the innovation too far, it's hard to really determine that with gamers. I guess we'll see. I feel very confident in the product we have coming to market. So Spencer believes Microsoft's best-selling console will continue to be the Xbox One S for obvious reasons. Microsoft's more affordable entry-level Xbox console, the One S, was released earlier this year. It will continue to play all the same games regardless of the looming prospect that is the One X, but at a cheaper price. Speaking to GameSpot.com at the Brazil Game Show, Spencer added, Xbox One S will be the market leader for us. It's the more affordable console. It plays all the same games, and it will be the console that sells. And that's where the article ends. So here's my thing, and it's only my thing. I speak for nobody, only myself. It's damning that I even have to emphasize that to some people, that my opinions are my own, and that I'm not trying to Jedi mind trick people into following my thought process, but such is the very public housing block we call Twitter. More idiots than any of us knew existed. Thank you, social media. Anyway, sheeples aside, I see no issue with what Phil Spencer has said regarding the One X not being the main driver of Xbox platforms, at least in terms of sales. I mean, it's a premium console at a premium price. Phil Spencer is just being realistic and, dare I say it, acutely honest. But what happened to the simplistic narrative Xbox One X is going to sell out? Xbox One X will outsell PS4 Pro. Xbox One X puts Microsoft back on top again. It's over for PS4 Pro. The console war is over. Remember that? Since the story broke, Phil Spencer has said to the contrary. Now a group of hapless homo sapiens flooding YouTube with, yeah, Phil Spencer said One X isn't for everybody, and somehow yet they managed to even spin Phil Spencer's statement that Microsoft is not expecting the One X to sell huge numbers, making it seem like if you do get an Xbox One X that somehow, just somehow, that you are part of an exclusive club, VIP gamers, if you like. Even though anyone with $500 or 450 UK pounds doing nothing can pick up the One X if they so choose. I always knew we had a bunch of clowns in our game community, but I didn't realize the game community was so overpopulated with them. The insecurity is unreal. The 1X does not have to outsell Pro to be considered a success. When are these blissfully ignorant people going to wake up? I mean, just think it over for a minute. Coming second or third place in NPD does not mean your console is selling really badly. It just means it's not selling as much as the other platforms. NPD is not the ultimate measure of success. Know what will make Xbox One X a success? Heck, even the One S a major success for that matter. It's really quite simple. Follow this two-step program. Instead of taking to social media just to troll others and hype up games, how about you actually purchase and play those games? Sadly, the sales metrics expose these people almost on a daily basis. Buying and playing games. A remarkable concept, I know. And yes, I'm being facetious, and I make no apology for it. All this projects to me is that these people have no will nor mind of their own. They will mindlessly follow any script, no matter how inaccurate, no matter how many times that script may change throughout the course of the years. Truly the most embarrassing, undignified bunch of people in the community of gaming. I try to tell myself that they are just trolling, just clickbaiting for views, but that gives them just way too much credit. I mean, there's simply not enough grey matter, simply not enough intelligence between them for that to be remotely true. And so the mind continues to boggle, but let us know your thoughts in the comments. And in other news, action adventure, Sony Interactive Entertainment and Naughty Dog opus Uncharted: The Lost Legacy has sold close to 600,000 units first week at retail, at least according to VG Charts estimates. Here's the full story. Uncharted: The Lost Legacy has sold 596,237 units first week at retail. According to VG Chart estimates, first week sales can be viewed via the VG Charts Global Weekly for the week ending August 26. Now, breaking down the sales by region, the game sold best in Europe with 377,850 units sold, approximately 63% of overall sales, which compares to the 116,148 units sold in the US, making up around 19%. Looking more closely at Europe, the game sold an estimated 75,633 units in the UK alone, and that's 60,843 units in Germany, and lastly 56,551 units in France. Uncharted: The Lost Legacy released for the PlayStation 4 exclusively in North America on August 22nd and in Europe August 23rd. Now, I literally just completed Uncharted: Lost Legacy in spite of having the game since day one. I've just been so burdened. I know it's a first world problem. I've been so burdened with new releases that I only finished Uncharted: Lost Legacy late last night, actually into the wee hours of the morning, and I completed the game on hard, and it took me roughly around 14 plus hours, though at least 3 hours of that time was searching the map for hidden artifacts and stuff. What a stunningly beautiful game. Yes, I know it follows the same blueprint as Uncharted 4, but why change a winning formula? It's not like we've been fatigued with the series. I wholeheartedly recommend Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. It looks gorgeous on the PS4 Pro. I haven't seen the standard PS4 version, but I can only imagine it looks great there too. And for the price, I think it's less than £30 in the UK. You really can't go wrong value-wise either. So over 500,000 sales in the first week, and that does not include digital downloads. Congratulations, Naughty Dog. And moving on, Gran Turismo Sports Beta has more than 1 million unique players and has received a bunch of new pre-launch trailers and commercials, courtesy of our friends over at JewelShockers.com. Here's the full story. So Gran Turismo Sport is coming close to its release on PS4, and there's a lot of news and trailers and commercials and all types of goodies for raging racing motorsport fans. First of all, we get a few trailers directly from Sony. Sony Australia just released a trailer starring local driver and a GT Academy 2015 winner Matt Simmons. More clips come from Japan with quite a few commercials released by the local branch of PlayStation, and they're pretty funny and you can check them out on YouTube. And Polyphony producer Kazunori Yamauchi tweeted about the server issues that have been hidden in the beta prior to the last public beta and prompted the folks at Polyphony to reconfigure the servers. Yamauchi-san also mentioned that now the servers have stabilized and that the team was very surprised by over 1 million players enjoying the GT Sport public beta. Sony also revealed UK race champion Lewis Hamilton has been enlisted to provide driving tips via tutorial videos within the GT Sport game. Gran Turismo Sport is set to release on October 17th in North America and on October 18th in Europe. And in our final news segment, we're approaching the end of 2017. The console is almost a year old already, and yet another third-party publisher has released a PS4 game with absolutely zero Pro enhancements. Now, The Evil Within 2 does not ship with PS4 Pro support, yet is still listed as Xbox One X enhanced. Now, in spite of the game being a massive improvement over the original release, and I am fairly interested in this game, it will be a good Halloween game to play. And even though I don't celebrate Halloween, but hey. I have to say I'm very disappointed in Bethesda with this. The Evil Within 2, already in the hands of PS4, Xbox One and PC gamers, and while the original game was released at a time when there was no PS4 Pro hardware on the market, The Evil Within 2 is getting released at a time when Sony has already dropped the PS4 Pro while Xbox One X is coming out next month. Unfortunately, the game doesn't offer any support for the PS4 Pro aside from using the boost mode which Sony had unlocked to gamers. Now, the omission of PS4 Pro support from The Evil Within 2 is rather strange since it is apparently still listed as an Xbox One X enhanced game on the official game page for Xbox One, which doesn't really affect me because I can buy The Evil Within 2 on the Xbox One X come November. But the lack of PS4 Pro support for Bethesda game is not surprising since even Prey offered no support at launch but was patched at a much later date. Perhaps Bethesda Softworks will release an official update once the Xbox One X is released, but it is unfortunate that there is no support for the improved hardware of the PS4 Pro at launch. The Evil Within 2 is developed on a custom version of the ID Tech engine called the STEM engine. While the game runs at native 1080p on the PS4, it can suffer from frame rate drops that can really be avoided by running it with boost mode on the Pro. This is basically the extent of the PS4 Pro support. So as you say, I am disappointed, but what do you think? Let us know in the comments. And that sadly brings us to the end of another video. Let's continue the discussion. Share your thoughts on all of today's top news stories in the video comments. And for more PS4, Switch and Xbox news, subscribe to FOXY Games UK. As usual, if you found any of the information in this video at all useful, go ahead and hit the like button and help us reach like-minded gamers by sharing the video. You can help the FOXY Games UK channel grow via Patreon with just one tier, $1 pledge options. You can find the link in the video's description. Thanks for any and all support. And don't forget, the Gamer Couch podcast, episode 65 airs this Sunday, 12 PM PT, 3 PM ET, and 8 PM BST. There we have it. Until next time, enjoy your weekend, everybody, and remember, play games, not corporations.